Welcome back to 2CTV, your global news channel. We have some updates coming from the Middle East, specifically the Islamic Republic of Iran. They have decided to once again kidnap another couple of foreign nationals as hostage, and of course they call it an arrest, and they say, well, you guys might be a spy. But this time the Iranian regime have completely messed up. But I also have my own views. Why on earth would you voluntarily travel to Iran? Why would you do that? If you are a tourist, why would you do that? MI6 and CIA don't have to send their agents and spies to Iran because they can have Iranian assets as part of MI6, Mossad, CIA, and all the others. That's how the other countries do it as well. The Chinese spies don't always send their agents. They have assets. We also have the same situation. Even the Russians, that's the normal approach. So if you're a tourist, if you're an actual tourist, and you decide to travel to Iran, what is wrong with you? So this happens a lot, and the Iranian regime every now and then do kidnap a number of people just to have a quota. They have a quota in the Iranian prisons to make sure they have a number of people from each country. You know, a couple of people from Norway, Britain, America, some dual citizens. Some could be like Iranian origins, but they could have an American citizenship. They try to diversify this. And of course, the Islamic Republic are in turmoil right now. The uprising continues to escalate across the country. They have lost their proxies in the Middle East from Syria and of course Lebanon and Gaza and elsewhere. The Houthis are being completely hammered. So they are panicking. They want to make sure they have some sort of leverage. Why would you help them get that leverage? Don't be stupid. If the Foreign Office says, don't go to Iran, don't go to Iran. And by the way, we are talking about a British couple, Lindsay and Craig Foreman. Now, these guys are in their 50s. They were actually arrested. They were kidnapped last month, a few weeks ago, in January. But the news of their kidnapping only came out yesterday. The state-run Iranian TV reported that they were being held. And this is where the Iranian regime messed up. They usually tell you that this person is being held on espionage charges or spy charges or whatever, right? They couldn't really come up with anything, so they said they were being held on unspecified security charges. So they were like, at this point, basically the Iranian regime are unhinged. They said, we don't even have to explain to people. We don't even have to come up with an excuse. We're just going to say, we have these people now. What are you going to do about it? The problem we have is that the Western world is currently run by a bunch of clowns. The British government is run by Keir Starmer, David Lammy as Foreign Secretary. David Lammy is not going to do anything. What they're going to do is they are going to be negotiating with terrorists. I've said this many times on this channel. I apologize for being repetitive, but it's important to mention. The ancient Rome, the Roman Empire's policy was, you touch one citizen of Rome across the world, we're going to come and destroy all of you. Now, that was ancient times. You don't have to do it like that, but a balance between ancient Rome and the current approach would be nice. Firstly, don't negotiate. Secondly, go and rescue them. Do not give credibility to a bunch of Islamic occupiers who are currently taking over Iran. Now, we have a statement from the Foreign Office we're going to go through, but we have a statement from the family who have come out to tell us what we have. But before we do that, so who is Craig and Lindsay Foreman? They are a British couple. They are in their early 50s and they seem to be a little bit bored, so they decided to travel around the world. And when they came up with the plan to go around the world, they also said, you know what, let's put Iran on the list. But Iran wasn't the only dodgy place on their list to visit. So they were going to go to Australia, mainly. But then things kicked off. So they were on a motorbike trip across the world. You know, when you're bored and middle class, you do that, right? And they only had planned to be in Iran for about 5 days. Don't even plan to be there for 10 minutes, let alone 5 days. They were heading to Australia. For Australia. This was supposed to be a across the globe journey, which is nice and lovely. Go to all the good places. Don't go to Iran or other places on the list. They crossed into Iran from Armenia at the end of December, on the 30th of December. Their plan was to be in Pakistan. So first Iran, from Armenia, Iran, for a few days, and then Pakistan. That should also be on a no list. Just don't go. After staying in cities of Tabriz, Tehran, the capital, Isfahan, they had a tour guide as well. They traveled to Kerman, which is in the east part of Iran, but then they never checked into their hotel because they got kidnapped by the IRGC. Now, the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, they are in charge of Iran. They're not even the official military, but they are in charge of Iran. So the structure of Iran is really weird. You have the government, which doesn't really count. The supreme leader is basically in charge. But the supreme leader is not in government publicly, but he is the government, he's the state. Like a king who is basically a totalitarian king. The IRGC runs the country, but Iran also has the actual military. That's separate. That's the armed forces, the official armed forces, which also still reports to the supreme leader anyway. But the IRGC are directly reporting to the supreme leader, which means, by the way, the only scenario we could see that the fall of Iran will be the armed forces, the military, will completely defect to the people's side, and the IRGC will fight against the armed forces. That's the only way Iran is going to be free. Not by the Americans going to liberate Iran. No, none of that. It will be internal conflict. But that's the reality of the structure. So when they kidnap people, because they are a bunch of gangsters, basically, they are gangsters, but they have the badge that says, I'm doing it on behalf of the supreme leader, they can get away with it. For example, if the IRGC kidnaps someone, the police or the army could say, whoa, what are you doing? Is this an official order? They say, I don't need an official order. I'm a member of the IRGC. But if the police or armed forces arrest someone, they have to explain, even to their own government, okay, so this is the order we got from the judge or the president or whatever, right? Because that's the official part of the government. Anyway, we have this statement from the family. We would like to take this opportunity to address the distressing situation concerning Craig and Lindsay Foreman, who are currently being detained in Kerman, Iran. This unexpected turn of events has caused significant concern for our entire family, and we are deeply focused on ensuring their safety and well-being during this trying time. Now, for the record, they said the unexpected turn of events. This was not, from my perspective, this was never going to be an unexpected turn of events. This is exactly predictable, and it should have been expected by Craig and Lindsay and their families. They continued by saying, we are actively engaging with the British government and relevant authorities, working diligently to navigate the complexities of this matter. Their family are united in our determination to secure their safe return. We truly appreciate the outpouring of support from friends, family, and the community, which has provided us with strength and encouragement as we face this ordeal. Why? Why would you put yourself in that situation? Now, as I said, the current British government are not strong and stable. They think that they can deal with the crazy parts of the world, the third world, and dictators in a diplomatic way, the same way you deal with the Canadian government, for example. So this is a statement we have from the UK Foreign Office. Instead of being outraged, instead of threatening Iran, instead of saying we're going to come for you if you don't release our people, this is what they've actually said. David Lammy's department. We are actively engaging. We are providing consular assistance. That's how they're going to start with that deal to the British two British nationals detained in Iran and are in contact with the local authorities, right? Relevant authorities working... sorry, that's the other statement. Got mixed with this one. Let me just quickly bring out the actual... It's a bit of a messed up situation right now. The official statement from the Foreign Office again. Got mixed with the other quotes, by the way. So the Foreign Office essentially have only said, that's it. That's all they said. We are providing consular assistance to two British nationals detained in Iran and are in contact with the local authorities. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 20 words. The statement from the UK Foreign Office, 20 words. I'm loving the urgency. Brilliant. Urgency from the David Lammy's department. Why would you do this? Now, I can imagine a lot of people in the live chat will be outraged at the decision of the couple to even go to Iran in the first place. Super chat time. I love Jesus Christ. Thank you. Says this news. The news said they are experienced travelers. Yeah, you need to be professional travelers, right? Clearly not experienced enough to check the government's website for travel warnings. It's clearly stated the government cannot help if they get into trouble. It's not rocket science. By the way, the same warning applies to other messed up countries like Pakistan, that is also not a real country because it's an acronym, self-identifying as a country. Also says their family should have told them not to go. Yeah, but I can imagine even if their families had told them these two were like experienced travelers, they say, no, it's okay, guys, we're gonna go, don't worry about it, everything's fine, we've done this before. I'm getting sick and tired of the certain type of middle-class Westerners who put themselves into trouble, and then obviously they get everybody else into trouble as well. Now you have to get the British government involved. The British government is not going to be robust. They're going to be negotiating with the terrorists. But I mean, it's still bad. I feel sorry for them that they're in this situation, but why would you go there in the first place anyway? Especially, as the other person said, if you are an experienced traveler, whatever that means, right? Aaron Bacon says, high return life insurance policy will have been ready. Very much so. What's this? The Knights Templar Church says, love Tommy. Love Tommy is also a hostage of a tyrant government. Thank you for that. The UK government. The UK government, this is what they say, will not be able to evacuate you, provide face-to-face assistance, or help you if you get into difficulty. I mean, if you choose to still take that risk, knowing that, then it's fine. It's on you. Now, let's not forget, it's the job of the international community and the British government to also say to the Islamic Republic, it's on you for kidnapping our people. I'm pretty sure until a couple of decades ago, it would have been an absolutely normal reaction from a Western government, any normal government, to say, you've kidnapped our people, we're going to start something. I mean, you don't have to necessarily invade the country, but absolute outrage. Take it to the UN Security Council. Bring out the rest of the United Nations. Do something. No, you just have to let them play their games, because the British government knows that the Iranian regime do this as a mind game, and it's a bit of a dance, right? Because they know that eventually they're going to release these two, and they know that it's just their tactic. The British government knows that the Iranian regime knows that these people are just random people, right? Because if the British government, MI6, want to use spies, they will use Iranian assets who hate the regime inside, who look Iranian. They're not going to send two blonde people. That's too obvious. Those days are gone. You don't send James Bond to Iran. Having said that, just because they know the Iranian regime will eventually release them anyway, doesn't mean that you have to treat this couple, as British government, you have to treat this couple as just pawns. Saying, yeah, don't worry about it. Just stay in there. Don't worry. Like, even if you get tortured, just don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. They are still human, even though it's still their fault for going there. But your job as government is to take care of your citizens. Look after your city. You cannot withdraw responsibility saying, well, you went to Iran or Pakistan, well, we can't really help you. Now, both is correct at the same time. You, as a normal British citizen, should not go to Iran. But secondly, the British government should never say, we're not going to help you. You see the problem here? The British government says, well, we can't help you. What do you mean you can't help? They are your citizens. They've been kidnapped by an enemy government that you continue to deal business with. How many times do we have to get the same level of betrayal from our so-called Western governments? David says, Tommy Robinson is a hostage in his own country. Why would Brits even be in a barbaric country? Why would they even travel? Exactly. Elephant Flowers is not even safe to travel in the UK. Why did they go? Again, this is a certain type of middle-class Westerners who just get bored in their 50s. Like, oh, we got some money. What do? Let's go around the world and on a motorbike trip. What tour? I mean, if the plan was to eventually go to Australia and you were somehow in Armenia, you look at the map, you're like, well, okay, so the next country is Iran, then Pakistan. You can't just go around it. Just focus on the northern countries between Iran and Russia. Just go around it. Even Afghanistan will be safer right now. It won't, but at this point, mostly because they're not really in control of Afghanistan, it's just all over the place. Bev says it's like the middle-class women who think they can be all friendly with Islam. Oh, they love it. Let me just take you to something. They have been posting on social media, Craig and Lindsay, before they got kidnapped, right? Let me just read a couple of things they've been saying on social media. They've been posting on Instagram and Facebook, making it easier for themselves to be identified, by the way. Also, so like this is another photo. This is when they were in, this kind of looks like Isfahan, which is one of the largest cities. Obviously, she's wearing her hijab, which if I were a woman, I would not go to a country that will force me to cover my hair. If it's their law, it's their law, but I'm not going to go. Although half of her hair is actually out anyway. But they've been posting on social media, Facebook. So she said, this is the most British middle class thing I've ever seen. Despite differences in culture, language, and traditions, here we go, we've seen something beautifully universal. Kindness, humor, hospitality, and a shared love of good food. That's called humans. All humans, because we're all parts of the same species, we have similar things. We all manage to laugh, we eat food. This patronizing, nonsensical Western middle class thing is really weird. They're like, oh my God, we went to Iran. They also make jokes. They eat food as well. Like, what do you think? They're not from Mars. They're still human, you idiots. It's a very patronizing thing. And I've seen it so many times from Western middle class, certain type of Western middle class people. Americans, British, French. They love to go to the third world because it looks different. And they're like, they can see the tragedy and disaster and the mess. And they're like, yeah, but surely there was a rich history here. Yeah, I mean, there was a rich history everywhere. There was something happening somewhere all the time. You're looking at a random cave in the middle of Egypt, and you're like, this is so beautiful. Oh, shut up. Just go live in a cave. You're not going to. You're going to go back to Heathrow. You're going to go back to your lovely house and drink your champagne, you champagne socialist. And then you just spend the time and your money to go around looking at caves in Africa. What's that going to do? It's patronizing nonsense. Like, we are so progressive, so open to the world. We just went and saw a tree in India and stared at it for 15 minutes. Did that achieve anything? It's nonsense. Now, there are some good places to go and see, but it's just that the reason they do it is some sort of weird patronizing. Oh, look at the poor third world. But oh, look at that weird looking food. Ooh, it smells weird. Oh, nice food, sure. Really? Are you going to eat that when you go home, back to London, or wherever you are? Of course not. You're going to go back to eating your tikka masala and your pizza. Level of insanity. Anyway, they've said other things as well. They posted on Instagram. Oh my God. She posted on Instagram, that's Lindsay, the wife. She acknowledged that traveling to Iran is risky, and Pakistan is risky and slightly scary. She posted on Instagram before doing it, saying, yes, we are aware of the risks. Are you? But we also know the rewards of meeting incredible people, hearing their stories, and seeing the breathtaking landscapes of these regions could far outweigh the fear. If you want to talk to Iranians, there are Iranians in North London. Go talk to them. If you want to see the landscapes in Iran, go on Google Earth. Go get one of these. Get one of these overly expensive Apple Vision Pro. Put it on your head. You can see the whole thing in 3D. Just type in the landscapes. She also said, from the vast deserts of Iran to the towering peaks of Pakistan. Towering peaks of Pakistan, my ass. We hope to share the beauty, hospitality, and humanity. Pakistan? Really? Okay. That often go unnoticed. Again, if you want to talk to Pakistanis, go to the City Hall in London. The Mayor of London is from Pakistan. Go to speak to Sadiq Khan if you really want to talk to Pakistanis. Don't risk your life. Yeah. So, the Foreign Office will be negotiating. Not really sure what they're negotiating for. I mean, what are they going to do? You've taken our people. They're going to say yes. They're going to be like, why? They're going to repeat what they've said. The IRGC said unspecified security reasons. They can't even accuse them of being spies. And the Iranian regime do it all the time. They just say, you're a spy. You're a spy. I'm a spy. In Iran, I am classified as an MI6 agent. So when I was a Tory, when I was in party politics, I know, I was young and naive, they sent a letter to my family saying, your son is now banned from Iran. I'm banned from Iran. And I was like, well, I wasn't planning to go. It's a terrible place. Why would I do that? But they said, if I go, they will immediately hang me. Why? Because I'm an MI6 Tory agent. Because if you're a Tory, you're automatically MI6. But with these guys, they're not even bothering to lie. Right? So what's the position from the Foreign Office? They're going to say, would you like to release them? They're going to like, no. They're going to say, what's up? What now? This round of negotiation is going to be just going to go round and round for absolutely no reason until somebody from the top of the regime says, can we please get $2 billion? Or can you please release some of the frozen assets, for example, right? AFC Manu K says, from the deserts of Sudan to the towers of Pakistan, was her next line. Hit me with your... Oh, God. Again, for the record, I still feel sorry for these two for being now held. They're still human and they're still British citizens, but use your brain. Where are we? Civil Defense UK says, Maya, I do not always agree with you, but on this one, you are spot on. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How dare you not agree with me? I'm never wrong. That's a joke, for the record. David says, I go around the world on Google Maps. It works. It works perfectly well. Just watch YouTube videos. If you want to see a Pakistani, talk to the Mayor of London. Oh. Anyway. There's also, if you want to talk to the other people, you want to talk to Bangladeshi people, you can talk to Tulip Siddiq, the Labour MP. She's Bangladeshi. You can talk to her. Did someone said Walt Davis says that's why riding a motorcycle leaves brains up your bum. Yeah, the motorcycle tour around the world. Crazy. Anyway, where would you guys? Now Dad says they should have traveled to Africa. It's definitely safer at this point. I mean, not all of Africa. Not closer to the Middle East part, because Yemen, Sudan, Egypt. Don't go to Egypt. People are obsessed with Egypt. Just go on Google Images. Carolyn says, hard to be sympathetic. You take this risk, then you deal with consequences. Accused of spying, hardly a surprise with the current world situation. Again, so we can say two things at the same time. You'd be a stupid idiot to voluntarily travel to Iran, number one. But at the same time, number two, the British government cannot withdraw responsibility. It's still your responsibility to go and rescue your people. You can't just say, well, we put on the website, we can't help you. But they still kidnap your people. Go and bring them back. Do not give them any money. Do not release any frozen assets. In fact, I'll double down if I were in charge right now, as Foreign Secretary. I will prescribe and designate the IRGC as a terrorist organization. Now we have more evidence. They just kidnap more people. Do it. Kitty says, hey, I'm a biker, I'm offended. Nah, Kitty, you have a thick skin, don't worry. Because you're a biker. Plenty of Middle Eastern restaurants in the UK. Exactly, if you want to eat Middle Eastern food, go to London, basically. Or Birmingham. We got so many Pakistani restaurants, Iranian restaurants, or whatever you want to have. If you want to experience the food. Landscape. Yeah, a lot of people agree. Go to Iran. That couple were incredibly stupid to go to an S-hole country like Iran. It's just not worth it. Why would you do that? Stu says, stupid is as stupid does. The fact that Lindsay, the wife, acknowledged it and she proudly posted on social media, yeah, it's going to be dangerous, but we're still going to go. Anyway, that's lovely. So we'll find out. We'll keep you guys posted on the so-called negotiations between David Lammy and Ali Khamenei of Iran. It's going to be lovely to hear. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.